Oh, yeah. Hey! Can you dig it? Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live on a Wednesday night. I'm your host, Jake Johnson. Tonight is Untethered Live Chill Stream Night. I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm rocking and raring and ready to go. How are you, Amanda?
Hi, everybody. I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. The way it ought to be. I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. I'm jazzed, I'm full, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take a bite out of crime like McGruff the crime dog, who seems to be taking over DC right now. Seems nice. I like it. Rich S., you get the gold star. You're first in chat tonight. How are you, buddy? Nice to see you. Rich says, hey, everybody. What's going on? What's going on with you?
Hi, Rich.
Amy says, hi, Rich. Hey, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Amy says, Psalm 27:14, wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. This verse encourages waiting on God and trusting in his strength. Amen. Beautiful. That's a wonderful way to start the show off, Amy. And a great sentiment to boot. Thank you. And Rich, here's your gold star. Enjoy.
Hi again, Rich and Amy.
And Rich says, heck yeah, that's what I like to see. Positive vibes coming in hot on a Wednesday night. It's 8:34 and all is well in the neighborhood. Lovely.
Hi, Untethered Live family. Good to see you all. Happy hump day. Camel, camel.
Camel, camel.
Camel, camel. I hope everyone is doing good. Hiya, Jake. How are you tonight, love?
Camel, camel. Wonderful. Like Miss Piggy on a prom date. I got a frog in my throat, but it's all right. I'm still the goat. Something else that rhymes with goat. Lynn. Yes?
Go ahead.
Linda Davis is here. She says, hi, Rich, Amy, Amanda, and Jake Hart. Hi. How are you? How do you feel this fantastic evening day?
Hi, Linda Hun.
Linda says, how is everyone tonight? I'm great. How are you? How are you, Amanda?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Positive?
I mean, I feel good.
Did you wash your hands?
Of course.
Did you wash your hands with soap?
Of course.
Did you wash the soap before you washed your hands with it?
Well, no, because it's in a pump bottle.
Did you wash the pump bottle?
Why, no.
Well, see, wash your hands. Linda Davis says, fantastic. And see, that's the kind of attitude I like right there. Coming, standing up, fantastic. Doesn't matter what's going on today, right now, for this moment, I'm fantastic. Nothing could be better. That's how you do it. That's the way. She has spoken. Linda says the weather is changing and it's been absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I've noticed that. It is kind of cooler today than it has been the past few days. Meaning I didn't feel like I'm nearing death from a heat stroke about noon. Big John Nugget. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. What's up, John? John says, prayers for all of America today. Sad. That's a sad day. Bless everyone. Why is it a sad day?
Transgender kid went into a Catholic church school and opened fire with a gun that had either I hate or kill Donald Trump or something painted on it. And then evidently he opened fire on himself afterwards. So
Yep.
I think there's 2 deceased so far.
Lord bless all of those who are damaged in yet another futile attempt to scream at the top of one's lungs. I am in desperate need of mental health help. When are you people going to learn that this is a mental illness? How many people have to die before you recognize these people need help? They don't need encouragement. They need help. Just my opinion.
And all this after Tampon Tim went bragging about Minnesota doesn't have that kind of violence. And guess where that happened at?
Was it Minnesota?
Yes, it was.
It was Minnesota. I figured it would be. Big John says, prayers for America, though. And that's all that we need is more people with that mindset. And if we can get that, eventually we will get past this hurdle that we have found ourselves constantly leaping over. Rich S says, absolutely right. Thank you, Rich. How are you, buddy? Amy's here. Hi, Amy. She says, liked, shared, and invited some friends. Fantastic.
Yes, Linda, I noticed that earlier. It was cooler out, and I can't wait for the good weather to get here.
What do you mean good weather?
Nice and cool.
What do you mean good weather?
Like 70 and below.
Sorry, I had a flashback. Yeah, that is good weather. Good weather is when the leaves are brown, but it hasn't started getting cold yet.
Yes.
I don't know, can I?
I can.
What?
I can dig it.
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
I can dig it. Rich S says, prayers for the families of those affected by the Minnesota mass shooting. Yes, prayers for the families and prayers for those that twisted up the minds that caused the people to be brainwashed to the point where they would do something like that. They need prayers too, but a different kind of prayer. They need help. Kevin, what's up, my friend? Kevin says, hello, Jake, Amanda, and everyone. Be back soon.
Evidently, it was a boy, young boy, that was transgender. Went from Robert to Rebecca or something. Sad.
It is sad. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope nobody here knew anybody that was involved. Linda says, what'd you have for dinner tonight? I had a roast pork sandwich, a big one, and some corn chips. And it was delicious.
Then I have grilled cheese.
And I just finished it like 5 seconds ago. So I'm still like picking it out of my teeth. Aaron, what's up, brother? Nice to see you, my friend. How are you?
Hello, Aaron. Hi, Nugget. Love the name change.
It's nice, isn't it? Amy says, I had leftover brunch for dinner. Well, if you ate it for dinner, it's no longer brunch, it's dinner. But what was it? What is brunch exactly?
After breakfast, before lunch.
So that'd be
10?
Yeah, I know what time it is. I'm asking what does it consist of?
Whatever you would have for breakfast or lunch.
Anyway, Amy says, my mom and sister took me to the Cracker Barrel today. I didn't see any difference in the layout or the logo. Well, it hasn't went into effect yet. I almost led with Cracker Barrel Peril. That was what I was going to use for the title tonight. But then I decided to lead the head police of the D.C. Metro Police, W. McGruff, the crime dog, since Trump is putting such a chomp on the swamp down there. He's definitely taking a bite out of crime the old-fashioned way, like we want it. But yeah, it will be in effect. It's already in effect in some places, but they caught it during the rollout, so it hasn't actually hit all the places yet, but it's coming.
And I heard the only thing that's changing is the logo. The rocking chairs in the store and fireplace and all that stuff is staying.
Yeah, but that wasn't the original idea. That's after much, much, much backlash and losing like 99% of your clientele.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Clientele, I shall wave my private parts in your general direction. Go away, or I shall taunt you a second time.
I don't know. I was taught if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
What it is? What's up, buddy? He says, hello, Amanda, and Untethered Live.
Hello, what it is.
No Jake? You don't say hi to me at all?
I'm special.
My chat jumped, so I might have skipped a couple. I'm getting there, though.
No, you didn't. 8:40.
Amy says, the person was mentally ill. Born female, dressed like a dude. Is that the way it went? Yeah, mentally ill. We need to reopen the asylums and staff them with some actual people with degrees and such. Not like we did before when Nurse Ratchet could just be a nurse. But, people that actually know how to handle mental health issues and put people like that in those places for rehabilitation and much needed rescue. They do not need to be in society. Polite society cannot handle such a barrage as we are seeing. I don't know how long it's going to take people to notice this. What it is says, why don't nuns wear bras? God supports everything. Probably because they're wearing that big wool over frock thingy. But God does support everything, even that. To like a lady. Sorry. Amanda says,
Hi, what is it?
drink the Kool-Aid.
What it is.
There you go. Amy says, it was a Christian school. First day back. People are mocking God over it. It's disgusting. Yeah, God didn't cause that to happen. I don't know why they can't see that. This is just like when we get trolls in here. It's the same thing, only it's a more sinister demon causing those things to happen. But you get the most flack when you're flying over the target. The devil doesn't try to catch people that he's already got. He doesn't need to. He only tries to hurt people that he can't have. This is a theme throughout history. And if you look, you'll find it over and over and over again. Evil is very real. And it causes people to do very real things. People were designed to be a certain thing. But if you want proof of free will, we as a species are the only animal on planet Earth that can live beneath its designed purpose. For example, you will never see a beaver build a bridge. They build dams. That's what they build. They'll never build a house. They'll never build a bridge. They'll build a lodge because they build beaver lodges. And they'll build a dam because that's what beavers do. Know what I mean? Likewise, you'll never see any other animal do anything other than the thing that they do. That's what they do. Period. We are the only being on planet Earth that can choose to go against our programming and do something opposite of what we were designed to do. Proof of God right there, but also proof of evil. Linda says, hi, Aaron. What it is says, I read that one. Amy says, Robert to Robin. Aaron says, hi, Linda. And Linda says, I made chicken pot pie. Yummy. Nice. Chicken pot pie. Homemade chicken pot pie. Or was it in the box? You made homemade chicken pot pie, right? Yummy. Amy says, I guess I had it backwards. It happens. Amy says, hash brown casserole. What is hash brown casserole? Is that like hash browns, but in a casserole dish?
Oh, well, yeah, kind of. I think it's hash browns. Well, I make it with hash browns, sausage, eggs, and cheese.
Amy says, my mistake. Well, hash brown casserole is unforgivable, but you could come back on that. You could have hash browns like smothered, covered, and chunked. It's nothing to worry about. I know it's a mistake that some people make, but you'll get over it. Just remember you're Southern at heart. Big John Nugget says, or it's called 11s in Britain. 11s? Is that after the 10s? The 5s, the 10s, the 11s? Are you talking about 11? Are you talking about 11-2? Which is what 12's original name was? 10 and 11-2. 12 is shorter. That's why they went with it. Aaron says chicken pot. No, I don't think so. Chicken pot pie is really good. Amy says, hi, Aaron. Aaron says, John, my brother, good to see you. It is good to see you, and I do love the name. And you can't say it without saying it big. Big John Nugget. It's got a ring to it.
Big Bad John.
Big Bad John. Big John Nugget. Amy says, I just like to eat, so I don't care. Right on. I'm just teasing you. Amy says, hi, Jake. Hi. And what it is says, hello, B.E. That's Big Egg, in case you don't know. Because he's not going to let that go because he thinks it bothers me. As a revenge for me calling him what it is when he knows that's cooler. And he's a little upset that he didn't think of it. Big John says, hi, everybody. Many hearts. Rich S says, one serious question. Is gluttony a serious sin? Is it in the 10 Commandments? Example, having 5 ice cream sandwiches because they are so good and addicting. I'm asking for a friend. Well, I've eaten 4 Reese's candy bars today. Because they're delicious and light, and they don't fill me up. So there's that, and I'm going to eat another one before I go to bed, maybe 2. And they're also small. Gluttony will hurt you. Your body is designed to hold a certain amount of food when it's hungry, and that is used for fuel to move you forward throughout the day. Is it a sin to flesh? Yes. Is it a salvation issue? Absolutely not. If it's not in the 10 Commandments, it's not a serious sin. Not one that you'll be punished for in heaven. You might be punished here on earth, but you got what's coming to you if you eat that much. If you ain't got sense enough to know not to cram 5 ice creams in your gullet at one time, you got the heartburn that's coming. You deserve it, right? You know you do. Why even worry about it? Just take a Tums and move on with your day. It's not going to keep you from heaven, though, I promise. I hope that helps. Amy says, sin of the flesh, Rich. See? Told you.
LOL, no, that's called the munchies, Rich.
Aaron says, looks like the demons are smiling. Looks at the demon and smiles. I got it. You have already lost. Correct. Correct. Read the end of the book. It doesn't work out well for the demon. And Linda says, your chat's about to jump. Linda says, what it is, there are some things God needs a little help to support. Like them double D's. Big John says, I had toad in the hole today. We don't want to hear about your sex life, John. I've done told you about that now. Keep your bedroom stuff private. Linda says, homemade, no box stuff here. I got you. I knew it would be homemade. And that stuff is good. If you've never had homemade chicken pot pie, shame on you. You need to get some immediately. What it is, what is ass brown casserole? Right on. It's hash brown casserole without the H and the sh. Rich says Big John Nugget, a fancy version of eggs and toast. There you go. Big John says sausage and Yorkshire pudding mixed. I don't know what one of those things are, but I know what sausage is, and that's delicious. I've never heard of toad in the hole, though. I have heard of shit on the shingles and pig in a blanket, but never toad in the hole. That's different. That's a new one on me. What it is says, I ate 4 donuts before I went to bed. It was wrong, but I knew. It was wrong, I knew, but it happened. Yeah, it happens. Especially when they're donuts, because those are good. Don't worry about things like that. The Catholics will get you all twisted up about little things like that and make you worry all to pieces about how wrong you are and God's looking down being all angry at you. Those things, listen, you have a very smart God. He created this whole universe in 7 days, and he knows every detail about every molecule and what it does and why it does it. He knows what your hang-ups are, believe me. He told one guy, I knew you before the foundations of the earth were laid. Before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. Not, I knew who you were or who you turn out to be. I know you, meaning I know your spirit, I know your intellect, I know your personality, I know your hang-ups, I know your traits. I know you, says God. So you ain't got to worry about those kind of things. Just live your life and be happy. If you eat too much, maybe learn some self-control. Other than that, I wouldn't worry about it. That goes for all the other deadly sins, too, by the way. If it's not in the 10 Commandments, it's not a deal breaker. You're good. Aaron says, Linda is a cook legend. Yes, she is. What it is says, some boudin sausage. I don't know what that is. Boudin or Sudan? Rich says, what it is, it's subjective. It depends on the size of the donuts. If they were as big as your face, that's one thing. Little fellers are another. Moderation is what he's saying. All things in moderation, especially in moderation.
Says the one that ate 5 ice cream sandwiches.
Right. Linda says, yeah, what it is. You just fell into the box of donuts, and it just happened. Just kidding. He slipped and one fell in his mouth. Yep. 5 times. And Rich S says, burned me, Amanda.
Sure did.
Thank you to the people that provide the coffee for the show. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's delicious.
It is delicious. I'm having a glass too.
And you're having a glass of coffee? What the hell's wrong with
cup.
you? You don't put coffee in a glass. That's sacrilegious. I'm pretty sure it's in the Bible. Anyway, thank you for the cup of coffee. Don't you want to have a cup with me? You are having a cup with me, so I don't need to say anything else.
Ew, no, Rich.
Like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box. If you want to show a little bit of love, you want to throw a little clang-a-lang in my pocket if you want to. You can do that right over there, or hit that Cash App, $JakeJohnsonBand, or PayPal.me/JakeJohnsonBand for PayPal. I appreciate that very much. Also, if you'd like to have a place you can hang out outside of YouTube, over there, away from all of the prying eyes and the oppressive little fingers and the misreading and the misappropriating of everything you say and do, you can do that over at Facebook.com/UntetheredLive The link is in the chat. It's a great place to hang out. There are pictures, videos, text, chat available, and memes. They're great memes over there. The ladies are killing it. And I've started a new weekly series of Everything is Bullshit right over there, where I will post something new every week that proves my thesis. So go check that out. It's grand, it's fun, and it's free. Now back to you. I feel like I'm forgetting something. You threw me off with the coffee.
Sorry.
Something. Press the buttons. I said like, subscribe, share, support. I said the Cash App, $Jake Johnson.
The store?
I said the store.
Yeah.
I never say the store.
The Untethered Live store.
Buy a t-shirt. It's
Yeah.
down there.
You said that.
I don't know what I'm missing.
Nothing.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Your head if it wasn't attached.
Unfortunately. What it is it was 4 cream cheese cake donuts. That's a lot. That's a lot. You might be getting ready for some purgatory. Or the bathroom. One or the other. Rich S says, is it instant coffee? No, sir. What do I look like? Don't answer that. I know I look like white trash. It is brewed coffee. I don't do the instant. Big John says, I've got Lipton's tea tonight. Nice. Is it instant? Rich says, I love hot coffee made regular with cream and sugar. Me too. Only from November through April. Iced coffee from the rest of the year. I don't know. No. Iced coffee's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
And it's wrong.
And it's wrong. Why would you do that to coffee? It don't make any sense. It's like a physics paradox or something. Why would you put ice in coffee? It's coffee. Coffee's hot. Next, you're going to want to make cakes out of it and stuff. There's a link to the Facebook page. You want to check that out. Pretty cool. I have had a long day. It's been a day. I'm exhausted, and I'm pretty sure goodies are the only thing holding me up. But that's all right. We're here, and we're having fun. Big John says, I'm getting some coffee bags tomorrow. Coffee bags. Unfortunately, I've tried those, and they're actually pretty good. I would have something to say about that because I'm a traditionalist, but I have had the Folgers coffee bags that make a perfect cup of coffee. So there's that. Try them out. They're good. Rich S says, I should show you my QuickBooks entry for Dunkin' Donuts. Although I still donated more to charity, it's a freakish figure. You have a spreadsheet for your Dunkin' Donut purchases? You might be a little squeaky. Do you squeak when you walk? What it is gravy made with coffee grounds. I've done that before. Yep, that can be done. Linda says, Rich, instant coffee is sacrilegious. My woman. That's a fact. It's not good. However, if you're on a long desert highway and you're about to fall asleep at the wheel and you have a teaspoon handy and a jar of instant coffee, just pop your teaspoon in there and stick it in your mouth and suck on it. You'll stay awake. Rich says, but it's pretty cheap, Linda Davis. Some things are worth the money. They just are. I don't like to drink coffee once it gets old, so about 15, 20 minutes, I'll drink 2 cups and then I'll pour the rest out. And she gets on to me about wasting coffee. And I'm like, as long as I can afford coffee, that's fine. That's not wasting coffee. It's not that expensive. Rachel, how are you, sweet lady? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Rachel, hun.
Linda says, hey, Rachel, good to see you. And what it is says, chocolate-covered coffee beans will get you wound up. Yeah, if you're eating them, I wouldn't want to make coffee with it, though. I also wouldn't drink that kombucha nonsense. That's where monkeys eat the beans and then shit them out, and then they scoop them up and make coffee with them.
Ew.
That's true. That's a real thing. They do that in real life, like present day. Coffee shit beans. That's for real.
I've heard of people snorting instant coffee to get rid of a headache.
Monkey shit beans, yeah. I've never tried that.
I haven't either, but I've heard of people doing it.
Linda says, I will sacrifice food before I get cheap coffee. Amen, sister, right? You can live on a sandwich. You can't live on instant coffee. I'm with you, 100%. Rachel says they do that with bats, too. Really, I didn't know about the bats. That's horrible. I don't want coffee that bad. Is there some Folgers around here somewhere? Maxwell House? Mm-mm-mm. Rich says, I appreciate purist coffee drinkers, not fancy schmancy. Venti mocha latte, matate, foamy. I don't know what the matate one is. Yeah, I'm not into all that. Coffee is a man's drink. It should be able to be pronounced in a grunt. Coffee. That's it. If I got to spell it out, if it takes more than a sentence to get my coffee, I'm out. I don't want it. But yes, sir, I am a coffee purist. I'm a regular Joe kind of schmo, you know? And it's delicious. Rachel says, cheap coffee will wreck your insides, ℂ𝕗. Yes, it will. And Big John says, that's gross. Sniffing coffee to get your black boogers, right? To get black boogers, right? Yeah, I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound good to me at all. I think somebody lied to you. In a long desert highway, cool wind in my hair. Copyright claim. Damn it, Don Henley. What it is, snorting Levi Garrett snuff. Yeah, they do make that. There is a snuff that you snort. It's powdery. It's real thin. And the old folks used to do it. Like in my great-grandma's day. They would sniff a little snuff up the nose, not in the mouth. I blew my mind when I heard about it. I don't need nothing like that. How did you even learn you could do that? Did you get some old snuff and it was just turned to powder because of mold and everything? You know, screw it. See what happens. Amy says, in my hair. Cool wind in my hair. I got it. And Rachel says, Rich, thanks for calling me out. My order this morning was a medium iced pumpkin spice latte, skim milk, 1 pump syrup, extra shot, like ice. Venti. See, that's too much. Coffee. Wait, sir, can I take your order? Coffee. Would you like to know? You want to know? Just, yes, coffee in the cup. Just give me the pot.
Hook an IV to you.
Right. I don't want to talk to you in the morning. I don't want to see you in the morning. I don't want to smell you in the morning. The only thing I want, coffee. That's it. I wouldn't even be able to say that in the morning. I can't say things like that until 9 p.m.
He's very grumpy in the morning.
Linda says, I stick to Folgers or Maxwell House too. Me too. I don't like Maxwell House as much as I like Folgers, but it will do. It's fine. They have a slightly different smell and a slightly different, one's a little more bitter than the other. One's a little earthier and the other's a little bitter, but it'll work. If you got Maxwell House, that's fine, you know.
I like Folgers too, but I also like the donut shop. It's called Donut Shop Coffee, and it's delicious.
That stuff is so strong. It's horrible. I've tried the Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's like drinking motor oil that's been sitting out on a park bench for a week.
Yeah, Donut Shop's not like that, though.
It's horrible. And also, with Maxwell House and Folgers, and it ain't always this way, but usually one's on sale or the other one's on sale. So you get best of both worlds. Rachel says, Folgers might as well be drinking straight laxatives. It does not do me that way at all. I've heard some people say that coffee makes them go. It's never done me that way. Then again, I can drink a pot of coffee and go straight to bed. I mean, caffeine is laughable at this point, you know. Doesn't do anything for me. But the heat and the sipping, the ritual of drinking coffee, and it opens up my airways, the heat, you know, my face. That's what it's all about. And I'm sure the caffeine does something, but I don't feel it. What it is says, hello, Let's take it to the next level. Coffee enema. I've heard about this. This is a real thing.
Yes.
There's a name for it, actually. I got to think about it. It won't come to mind because I don't like to think about cramming things up my ass. But there is a thing in Hollywood that they do regularly. It's called something. If anybody knows, shout it out because I can't remember. But they put coffee and also alcohol in the ass via a tube. Hycolonic. That's it. Hycolonic. Check it out. That's a real thing. That's how long it takes me to remember something I have tried to block out of my mind. Hycolonic. Right next to your high karate. That's aftershave. This town needs an enema. That's what that statement was about in Batman 1989. It's been around since the 70s. Rich says, Rachel, however, if it makes you happy, then I forgive you. If it makes you happy, that's all that matters. Don't listen to us grumpy old men. You do what makes you happy. And Linda says, Rachel, the stronger the better. I'm a little opposite on that. I don't like strong coffee. I like black coffee. I like it to be dark, but I don't want it to be strong because it makes me jittery if I drink real strong coffee. And I also don't like the bitterness of it. If I were a black coffee drinker, I think I would like it strong, though. But I put cream and sugar in my coffee, so I like it to be dark enough that the cream will lighten it up. That's it. Rachel says, Rich, it does. My caramel macchiato order is more intense. Caramel macchiato. Rich says, you do you, girl. Right on. Big John Nugget says, they still do snuff in Britain. Still in tobacconist. Still in tobacconist. Tobacconist? Are they doing it up the nose, though, or are they doing it in the mouth? Because we do snuff here, too, but it's in the mouth. These sissies these days, these blue-haired people, they use the pouches. But in the old days, we did Copenhagen right in the lip. Just burn a hole right in your bottom lip. Rot those teeth out. Fine. Good stuff. Tastes like Jim Beam and spit. Rich says, coffee breath stinks, though, does it? I will say, you don't want to be swapping spit first thing in the morning. I don't want to do that first thing in the morning anyway. But I didn't know that coffee breath stunk. Smells like coffee to me. I think maybe if you have bad breath and then drink coffee, the coffee breath stinks. But you have to have bad breath to start with. I don't have bad breath. I have cigarette breath and coffee breath, but not bad breath. And Big John, what is a tobacconist? Is that like the club of niche tobacco users? They're just like regular people, but they wear funny berets instead of normal hats. I don't know. They speak with outrageous accents. I'm a tobacconist. Rachel says, my caramel macchiato order if Starbucks grande caramel macchiato upside down, 1 pump caramel, 2 pump vanilla syrup, extra shot skim milk, light caramel syrup with a dusting of cinnamon.
A tobacconist is a vape shop.
Oh, okay. We got those here too. Only we don't smoke in them, which is weird. They have a room with cigars in it, but it's a small room, big enough to stand in, but no seats. And they have a fog machine in there. It's got a sliding glass door so you can see in. I guess so you can't steal cigars, but Why have a cigar room if you can't smoke cigars in it? I don't understand. Why have a fog machine to simulate smoking? It makes no sense. But that's what we got. Rachel says, donut shop is good. Big John says, you can't beat Italian coffee. I don't know if I've had Italian coffee. I imagine that's probably true. I imagine there's places around the world that specialize in coffee. Ours comes from South America. Juan chops all the coffee beans up and sends them our way. At least the package would lead me to believe he does. I don't know. Rachel says coffee is a laxative. I've heard that it's a diuretic, but it does not laxatate me at all. Linda says, my son has reached the cologne stage, and I have to have him move to the other end of the table at dinner. I have to get him to use it in moderation. Teach him the 3-dab trick. That's it. Or one here, one here, one here, or one here. That's it. And Rich says, espresso. Yeah, buddy. With a snifter of brandy and a cigar. I could get into that. I do like espresso. And Rachel says, Rich, depends. If you are drinking straight dark roast, then yes. Right on. If you're going to have espresso, it needs to be strong. I guess that's the point of espressos. In a tiny little cup. A coffee enema. Yes. A high colonic is what they call it. Rich. Rachel says, my coworker put ecstasy once there in the rectum. Yeah, I've heard that bypasses all of the digesting stuff and goes straight to the bloodstream. However, since we're going to talk about it and one of you yahoos is going to try it inevitably, listen to me very carefully. This is highly, highly dangerous. The inner lining of your rectum is very sensitive and very thin. And yes, it has blood vessels in it that will cause whatever you shove up there to go right to the bloodstream, i.e., alcohol or coffee enemas. However, if you do this more than once, you run the risk of tearing that thing or causing the lining to get thin because of strong chemicals in there like you're putting in there, and that could cause you to have a serious problem that you can't come back from. So trust me on this. Guard the rectum with your life. It's a dangerous game to play. Linda Davis says, yeah, John, I have myself an old-fashioned espresso pot to make with. Nice. I've never owned an espresso machine or pot, but I have had it a couple of times. It's not a regular thing for me, so I wouldn't even know where to get it, but I would imagine a cafe or something like that. But the ones that I've had were good. And a little buzzy.
You can get an espresso machine at Walmart or anywhere.
Yeah, I know that. Amanda?
Oh, yeah, Rachel. It works totally different when you put it up there. Any drug or pill or anything that you put up there is going to give you a totally different effect.
Yeah, but
it's not good.
It's not a thing you want to play with. I mean, play with it, but stay around the edge.
Jake.
What? I'm just saying.
Bad.
I'm just saying. That's where all the nerves are anyway. You can't feel anything way in there. Unless you do it right. Linda says, I want to do what makes me happy. You should. You absolutely should. Rachel says, Linda, apparently, LOL. Linda says, Rachel, Have to let the freak out once in a while. That's a fact. The implication is the freak is already in there. And it is for all of us, believe me. And you usually exercise control and don't let the freak out because you don't want to scare your partner, because usually they can't handle things like that at first glance. But if you get lucky and you find one that, wants to go down that road with you, it's all well and good. All is fair in love and war, as long as you remember the safe word. Write that down. What it is says, some women give a new meaning when packing a lip with skull. Yeah. Big John says, it's a shop that specializes in all flavors of tobacco and pipe tobacco. And they probably have a hookah there too, don't they? You guys know what a hookah is?
I used to have a hookah. Smoke it with charcoals.
Basically, it's a bong with tubes. What it is says, mine comes from the patch grown in with corn. Your what? Your tobacco? Or your hookah? Or your rectal enema?
Probably tobacco. Chew.
Walter Davis is here. Good evening, Walter. Walter says, good evening, everybody. And Rachel says, Linda, I'll support you, LOL. As we all will.
Hi, Walter.
Lady B. Hi, everyone. Hey, Lady B. How are you? We're just talking about rectal enemas. Come on in.
Hi.
Take your shoes off. It's going to get nasty.
Hi, Lady B.
Linda says, hi, Lady B. And Rich says, oh, well, never mind then. Not trying it after all. I'm just telling you, be careful. Read up on it before you do it, is all I'm saying. There are ways. I mean, they did it throughout the 60s and 70s professionally, so it can be done. But just be careful. You don't want to ruin that thing because you can't get it back. That's not the kind of thing that just heals and goes away. You break the lining in your rectum and you got problems. It'll come out. I mean, yes, I mean it. The rectum will come out. I know people that have this problem. It's called a prolapsed rectum.
You can get that from doing the butt too much, too.
Yes, that's because you damage that lining, and once you damage it, you can't fix it. It's too thin and too sensitive to sew it back together, so you just have to keep tucking it up in there. Is that a good enough picture for you? You want to visualize packing it back in?
No, that's gross.
You know what I'm saying? Walter says, hi, Jake, Linda, what it is, Nugget, Vera, Aaron, and Amy. And Lady. Big John says, nothing going up my butthole. Run. Right. That's a one-way trip there, buddy. That way. What it is, what about all that anal sex? Does that run a risk of making the lining thin? Yes. Yes, it does. And some people who have had too much or too big or too rough live to tell the tale. And some of them don't. I encourage you to look up the man versus horse. And listen to that sound he makes just before he dies in the video. It's one of the few that still remain. And just know that could be you. Lady B says, hi, Jake, Linda, what it is, Nugget, Vera, Rachel, Richard. Who's Richard? Richard? And Amy. I don't see a Richard. Do you see a Richard? Richard? Hello, Richard. Welcome to the show. Who art thou?
I'm sorry, I was typing. I said what it is. People who do that a lot lose control of their rectum. Frequent anal sex isn't good. That's the prolapse that I was talking about. And they'll be walking and just poop themselves because they can't hold it. They can't control it.
And it'll fall out.
Yeah.
Amy says, that's beside the point, Rich. It's a dangerous world, and one pill can kill. Fentanyl is in every community. Don't die to get high. Lady B says, hi, Walter and Rich and Aaron. Rich says, hey, lady. The lady says, hang on. Where'd it go? The lady says, I love the picture of the 3 crosses, Rich. And Rich says, occasional is a fine line, though, right? Now, occasional is fine, though, right? Yes, occasional is fine, obviously. Just be careful. It's like, handle it with gloves. Literally or metaphorically. If you use gloves, the rubber kind, you can get all lubed up and have a lot better access. But, you can do that with your fingers, too. I'm just saying, be careful. It's a wonderland, but be careful, because you never know what's around the corner. And Rich S says, thank you, my lady. The lady says, I'm watching the movie Paradise Cove. It is suspenseful. Paradise Cove. Is that the one about the dolphins? What it is says, my future safe word is going to be Big Egg. That'll do it. That's definitely one that won't come up in conversation anywhere but here. And if you need a safe word here, you're doing it wrong. Walter Davis says, hi, Amanda. Big John says, hi, Walter. Lady B says, Jake raises his eyebrows as he says rectal enemas. Rectal enemas. Lady B says, worse than hemorrhoids. Oh, yeah, worse. Way worse. Yeah. I personally know people, at least 2 people, where they're, well, one was the front part, but the other one was their rectum, came out.
Yes, lady. Your rectum comes out of your butthole.
What it is says, Jake, are you a shade tree proctologist? No, sir. I am not. But I do know a thing or two about the bum. You know what I'm saying? I know my way around the inner thigh area. I'm as good as an expert as you're going to get. Lady B says, sphincter muscle. Well, that's just the thing that makes it squeeze. You got a whole entire thing in there that leads up. The rectum leads into the small intestine and into the large intestine. The anus is a very intricate series of events beyond the hole going on in there. The sphincter muscle just tightens it all down to help push everything out. Rich S says, don't listen to Jake. He made me so curious with the 2 girls, 1 cup thing that I am now traumatized for life. I told you not to look. You couldn't help it. You had to look on your own. Don't listen to Jake. I know things you'd only dream about, but I did tell you not to look. I made a disclaimer and I was emphatic about it. You don't need to see this. Don't look. I'm just telling you it exists. There are other things worse than that. Like the horse. Man versus horse is worse than that. If you're a guy, girls can probably handle it. If you're a guy, that's the worst thing you've ever seen. Big John says, prolapse uterine. Yep, that's the front part. Lady B says, ℂ𝕚𝕝, Amanda. I took anatomy in college, biology in high school, ℂ𝕚. That does not prepare you for the inner workings of the anus. I promise. Did you know that there's a documentary on the folds of the anus? You know, if you look at a butthole, the little folds that go around it, there's actually a science to those folds and what they do and what they mean and why they're there and what they say about you. I can't remember the name of the book, but go look, it's out there. Pull that up, Jamie.
Pull what's up? The man versus horse?
No.
What?
Never mind.
The differences in the rings and the...
Yeah, the anal science.
We don't need to go into all that.
I said pull the book up.
Oh.
I can't remember the name of the book. Amanda says, LOL, Rich. He told you not to look. I did tell you not to look. Rich S says, might as well have told me to look. I understand reverse psychology has power, but I told you not to look. You chose to look of your own volition. It had nothing to do with me. I just made you aware of its existence. Amanda says, ℂ𝕚𝕝, Rich. Or LOL, Rich. Linda Davis says, we had a big drug bust happen just down the street from me this past week, right next to the elementary school. Good. Maybe they got some riffraff off the streets.
You're talking about the book named Gulp?
That's not the one. It has a big sphincter on the cover of the book that looks like a flower. And until you really look at it, and it is a butthole. But it looks like a sunflower at first glance or something like it. Big John says, my safe word is run. Right? That might get confusing, though. What it is says, Lord, have mercy on this situation. Amanda says, okay, we need a new conversation topic. I'm just going whichever way the dastardly winds blow me, you know. Poot this way, poot that way, however you want to poot. I'm just following the logic of the chat.
Well, there's quite a few books on that particular topic, so I'm not sure which one.
Well, just pick one and put a link. Lady B says, we all should know about the rectum and anus. It's a good thing to know, especially after you've had kids if you're female, because you really don't get the full use of that thing until after that, when all the things loosen up down there and you get a little bit more comfortable in your own skin and a little bit, less tense. And with some good music and a person that knows how to use their hands and a little bit of patience, because it is a patient sport, you can do magical things that you never knew were possible. Lady B says, it's an assay subject. An assay subject. An assay essay. Yes, that's what I'm doing tonight, an assay essay. What I should have named the channel. The show. Amy says, the human body has more than one sphincter. Oh, yeah. There's quite a few. It's a technical term. Anal sphincter is a location. Lady B says, Amanda, I agree. Linda Davis says, subject change. Lady B says, the butthole looks like a fluted pie pan. You see, I tried to get out and they just pull me back in. The Godfather. Thank you. Big John says, this is my last night tonight for about 4 to 5 weeks. What, tonight here? What are you doing? Are you disappearing on us again? I didn't like it the last time you disappeared, John. What's going on, buddy? Walter Davis says, I didn't look. Good man. Some things you don't need to see. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It'll be with you forever. And Linda says, John, I am so excited for you. Be safe. Yeah, by the way. Oh, you're saying it's the last night before you go on your trip. I got you. But you're going to be checking in on your trip, right? And John says, I'm doing it before it gets cold. Right on. Smart thinking. And John says, thanks, Linda. Heart. And I'm excited for you, too. And I hope you have a wonderful time and have lots of experiences that you're looking for. And I hope that you send lots of pictures back, because that's going to be fun. Amanda says, here's a link to the book, to the butt book, if you want to know. There are other things to consider than just the shit you normally do with it. Walter Davis says, the garage behind our neighbor's house blew up last year. He wasn't the chemist he thought he was, but the evidence burned up. Imagine that. Well, thank God it blew up. Maybe your kids won't have any danger from that particular neighbor. I don't like people like that around children. I don't understand why people can't just leave adult things to adults and stay away from our kids. But there seems to be an epidemic of that going on nowadays, where people are trying to get our kids involved in lots and lots of things they are not ready for. And all of them should be drug out behind a building and have their brains taken out for some fresh air, if you know what I'm saying. Lady B says, Rachel, that sounds good. Yummy. The latte. Lady B says, we'll miss you, John. We will. And Rich says, the book is called that's it. The Anomancy. That's it. That's the one I was talking about, Amanda. Analmancy. There's a ANOL-mancy. Yep. How did you know that? Did you just find the book that I was talking about, or did you know that? Because if you knew that, you and I need to have a conversation behind closed doors. Big John says, I'm going on tour, Britain to Italy, and you can't get rid of me that easy. And I know that. Thank you. And now I looked it up. I got you. But that's the one I was talking about. That's exactly the one. And it does have a flower on the front. It looks like a flower, right? But it's not a flower. Analmancy is exactly what it sounds like. Like the craft of, making the anus do things. Like necromancy, only less gross. Which I also, unfortunately, know a thing or two about. Those dastardly Britons, they come up with all kinds of things. Most of this stuff comes from Europe, though, believe it or not. Merlin was a big purveyor of that sort of thing. Yes, that person is a real person that did exist. Had many names. Merlin was just one of them. Some people think that the same guy also went by the name Rasputin. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the rumor. If you know who that is. There's the link to that book. Interestingly enough. And you don't have to tell us if you look. I won't judge you either way, but there it is. Big John says, oil Britain didn't, French did. If Britain didn't, the French did. Yeah, French are also quite freaky. Have you ever watched a lot of those French movies from like the 70s and 80s? Man, they get into some weird stuff. I mean, weird stuff. Things that when I looked at it, I was like, what in the hell? Who would be interested in this sort of thing? But go look at some of those French movies. Some strange things going on in those French people's minds. Lady B says, A treatise on the folds and wrinkles of the anus. Yes. A treatise. You got it. That's the one. I find it interesting that a person wrote that book. Not so much what's in it, but the mind that thought about that book enough to put it together. That's what fascinates me. Of course, if you get into like Eastern mysticism and things like that, they had this fascination with sticking needles in things for a while. And that's a pretty interesting study, too. Rich says, how about we change topics and talk about tatas instead? Also a good quality conversation. I'm down. Whatever way you want to go, I'm just rolling with the flow here. I'm only expounding on what you guys bring up. And if you'll go back and look, I did not initiate this conversation. But I'll end it.
You ever notice that no matter what we talk about, how the conversation starts out, either somewhere in the middle or in the end of that conversation, sex always comes up as a topic?
Yes, I have noticed. I'm also surrounded by a bunch of randy ladies. It's about to happen. It's bound to happen. Lady B says, Rich, ha ha ha. Tatas. Well, believe it or not, that's actually very normal because the average male thinks about sex every 90 seconds throughout the day, and the average female every 2.5 hours throughout the day. So it's bound to come up if you talk for 2 hours.
That would depend on what female you were talking to.
I understand that. I said average.
I guess I'm not average.
You are not. If you were average, you would not be here. Believe that.
I fall on the wild side.
Rich says, small is fine with me, but natural is great. Well, natural is natural. Of course it's great. But you know what I say about fake titties? I feel the same way about them as I do about, manifestations of the mind. If you can squeeze them, they're real. Linda says, Amanda, we are above average. I agree. 100%.
Definitely.
I'd say top 1%. And I ain't even trying to, sweet talk you. I just know the quality of the people that are here. Every one of you ladies are fantastic. Every one of you are smart and engaging and fun to talk to and know a lot more than the average bear. Bearess. Female bear. I know. Lady B says, TNA, Rich. Yes, that's what he wants to talk about. We done did the A, now he wants to talk about the T.
More than a handful of waste.
Rich says, back to titties, Jake. Well, God put the right idea right in the palm of your hand. You see that right there? That is the perfect amount of titty. Lady B says, rolling. And oddly enough, that will fit every shaped titty that exists. Even the big ones. Big John hits me with a 10-pound super chat, and he says, big love to all. Many hearts. Thank you, John. God bless you, my friend. Appreciate the super chat.
Thank you, Nugget.
Yay. Lady B says, Amanda ℂ𝕚𝕝𝕝. Seriously, though, you guys are awful quiet tonight. Did I scare you with the anal talk?
It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Somebody needs to say something offensive quick. Aaron, what are you doing? Those two statements were not connected. It's just where my mind went. And Linda says, I got to be able to motorboat, right?
Yes.
Lady B says, average is awesome. I agree. 100%. I'm an average male. I mean, I'm 6'2" from the waist up, but everything else about me is average.
Well, maybe.
Lady B says, vanilla is good too. Risque? Wow. Yeah, I like risque. That's what tonight is risque. Big John says, you have me. I've got you, and you got me too, buddy. I appreciate you. You mean a lot. Lady B says, Linda, yes, motorboating. Ooh, motorboating. I used to do that song, motorboating.
Jake motorboats funny. It's real funny when he motorboats on camera. You forgot the other part.
It's
You forgot that part.
I didn't forget. I was just teasing. Lady B says, I think I just had a hot flash. I'm going to get some ice water. Right on.
That's what you want to call it, Lady B.
I do have that effect. No, I'm just kidding. I've been having, Big John hits me with a 20-pound super chat and won't let me like that one. Thank you, John. You go, buddy. I appreciate you. And he's giving me the big heart. Can you guys see that? Big hearts. I like it. Linda says, LOL, Lady B. I'm right there with you. Whew, why I never. I tell you what, though. I'm a little taken aback. Conversation we've been having, my mind is centered on it, focused like a machine. What do we got going on here? Oh, I see. Sorry. My chat just reconfigured on me. And Lady B says, love you, Linda. Linda is a lovable person. She's been with me for a long time now. And I don't think I've ever had a single episode that she wasn't here that wasn't a barrel of monkeys. I mean that metaphorically speaking. She's very funny, very down to earth, very salt of the earth type person. You guys all would love her if you got to know her, if you don't already. And Amanda's all right too.
Sometimes.
All right. Well, what you guys want to talk about? It's Wednesday night.
Looks like we're going to get to bed earlier tonight.
I know, right? I might have to quit on time.
Right? What's that like? What's it like getting to bed before 2 o'clock in the morning?
I would not know.
I wouldn't either.
But what I would know about is there's some things going on in D.C. right now that's making me tingle in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
I am totally enjoying the overreach that's happening. Big John says, amen, Jake. You totally right. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, Donald Trump has been called a dictator and a Nazi and a fascist for 8 years. And now he's starting to act like one. Only what he's doing is completely legal and completely contextual with the Constitution. Just ain't nobody done it before. And it's driving the left wild. I mean, they're really freaking out about his actions in D.C. and He's getting ready to do it in Chicago and other big cities and probably California. Fab Daddy. It's coming. I'm telling you. Old Gavin Newsom ain't going to know what to do with himself. But if you go on the news, it doesn't matter what channel, they are freaking out. Everybody's, hell's falling, you know. But if you go listen to people talk, go to the man on the street stuff, listen to the people that are actually the people in D.C., everybody loves it. Everybody's having a great time. They're walking around outside. They're not worried about getting carjacked or banged in the back of the head or something like that. Nobody has died in D.C. in the past few days. The whole week, I think it was like 7 days that nobody died.
Yeah, I think the total was 12 or 13
It might have been. It might have been 11 days, I was thinking.
So they just had a murder last night, I think it was.
Yeah, well, that's unheard of. There hasn't been a week that has passed in the past 20 years that somebody wasn't killed in D.C. This is the first one in a very long time. And it's fantastic to watch. Linda says, Walter, I saw a sign on 78 overpass in Huntington that said, we don't want a dictator or something like that.
I saw a video today that said that they estimate between 35 and 40% of Democrats have turned Republican.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Bill Maher, the most ardent Democrat I know of, most loud one anyway, is starting to talk a lot like Trump. Everyone's becoming safer with Trump, says Big John. That's right. Lady B says, love us some, Amanda. She does.
I love y'all too.
Oh, that was a phrase. We love us some Amanda. I got it. Took me a minute. Yep. I love me some Amanda too. Especially when she keeps my coffee full. That's above and beyond Call of Duty right there.
And your belly.
Well, it goes both ways.
And I won't say nothing else after that. I'm pleading the fifth.
Plead the fifth. You ever wonder if the person that came up with the convention of numerology was a bucktooth?
Fifth.
He was quite lispy. Amy says, I was working. I left for a bit. What are y'all talking about now? Not anuses.
Yeah, not butts anymore.
No more butt stuff. Linda says, I'm keeping my mouth shut with that one too, Amanda. Right on. So anyway, we got all this going on in D.C. Things are happening all over the place. Numbers are through the roof. Everything's looking good. And then amidst all that, there's this talk about J.D. Vance and his ascension to the throne, as it were. I don't know if he's planning on it or not, but I think it's a good idea. What do you guys think if J.D. Vance becomes the next president?
I think he's going to. He keeps trying to play innocent like he's not thinking about that yet and it's still too early and this, that, and the other. Bull crap. You know that's totally on his mind.
Well, it's definitely in the stars. Things are aligning that way. People are starting to move in that direction anyway, but I don't know. No word from him has come down yet, but I think that's probably the way it's going to play out.
And he's not going to say anything for another year or so at least.
Amy says, Nugget, I don't think Trump is doing the right thing for free speech. It's established case law. Burning the U.S. flag is considered free speech. I don't like it, but it is. Well, actually, it is not. It was a conversation that happened, but the whole burning the flag thing was a one judge who was making an unpopular decision. It was like, I don't know all the details, but it was like 5-4 decision, and he was the one dissenting. So it would be even on both sides, except for the one guy that made it happen. The law passed, but it was an unpopular decision, but it did pass by one vote. And what the guy said was that he was doing it because free speech, right? But it's not actually enshrined in the free speech of the Constitution. This is case law, so there's precedent, but the Constitution doesn't specifically prohibit the ability to burn the flag. So there is some conversation as to Trump doing this thing about putting people in jail for burning the flag because it is inciting violence. It's inciting a riot. It's causing people to doubt and to look down on the cohesion of the community. That's the idea behind it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's what the situation is. So, I think I understand why he wants to do that. I think I understand that burning the flag in America, on American soil, is incitement to riot. I think that is putting a bad damper on people that have died for that flag and people that have striven to uphold it. And I understand that mentality. I come from the old school where burning the flag was part of that free speech movement, although it's not actually constitutional, but the case law does lean in that direction. And that was what we were taught when we went to school, that free speech protected that action. And so in the 90s, when we were doing Desert Storm and all of that, there was a lot of flag burning going on, both the Iraqi flag and the American flag. And it was acceptable because free speech. So I both understand and understand the other side of that argument. I don't come down on it either way, though, because I personally don't like burning the American flag. I think a lot of people died to uphold that flag. It does not lean towards a party. It does not lean towards an ideology. It is a symbol of the country we live in, and that's it. And I don't think you should burn it. I also don't think you should go to prison for a year if you do. So I'm going to refrain from that one. But I do understand why he's doing it. Big John says Vance will be the next president that comes from a Britain. I think so too, John. Amy says if you believe in the Constitution, you have to believe in free speech. I do believe in free speech. But free speech does not single out or exhibit flag burning as free speech. That's case law. That was a decision made in court, and it was not a popular decision that was made. And Linda Davis says, aren't you even supposed to let the flag touch you're not supposed to let it touch the ground, correct? You're supposed to guard it with the utmost care, fold it properly, and not let it touch the ground.
Or get wet.
And you're supposed to fly it at half mast when anybody dies that's in the military.
Or of higher political whatever.
Walter says he's trying to keep the target off his back. I don't know if I agree with that, Walter. Everything I've seen him do suggests that he's trying to keep the target squarely on his back, like with the Elon Musk thing. Remember I told you about that? Elon Musk said something really crazy after having been buddy-buddy with Trump for so long, and then his stock started plummeting and people were burning Tesla plants and cars and stuff like that. So Donald Trump went out in public and had a public fight with Elon Musk. Elon Musk said some bad things about Trump, and they separated. And then Trump badmouthed Elon Musk. Well, that had the desired effect, whether you believe that was on purpose or not. They stopped going after Elon Musk and burning Teslas and such. A few months later, they're buddy-buddy again. Elon apologizes, Trump accepts, and they're back as friends. That says to me that was all political theater to get them off of Elon. And I imagine the conversation went something like this. Hey, they already hate me. Why don't you just go out and say some trash about me and get them hating me some more, and that takes the load off of you so your companies don't lose money. That's the way I think it went. I don't think Trump is nearly the bad guy he plays on TV. I think he's much more calculating and much more level-headed than he appears to be. That's my opinion, though. Amanda?
Right, Linda. It's not even supposed to be rained on. And what target, Walter?
He's talking about the target on Trump's back.
Yeah, but what target's on Trump's back?
The hateful target. He's trying to get people off of him.
Yeah,
I don't
that
think
ain't
so.
gonna happen.
I think it's the other way around. I think he's trying to burn the bridges, as it were. Because look at what he's doing. He's only got one term. He can't run again unless he changes the law. And if Congress goes along with him, they can change the law, and he could reinstitute what FDR was president under. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Trump wants to run another term because he's going to be 78 years old, you know.
I think what I said before, Vance is going to be president, Trump's going to be vice president.
That's a possibility, and it could happen, but I don't think it's going to. I think Trump is setting the stage so that the younger generation can take over and then he can back away. I don't think he's going to continue past this 4-year term. I think he did it mostly to prove a point that he did win the last one, and also to get presidential immunity so they could stop going after him because they were throwing everything under the sun at him. And also to establish the MAGA movement into the way the government works. That's why he's been doing things like crazy, like a madman, changing the system from within. I noticed that when Laura Trump became head of the RNC. I thought that was peculiar. I didn't see that coming. I thought the RNC was a separate entity, just like the DNC, that ran all Republican candidates. Turns out you can take over it and have it to be your Republican National Committee. And that's what he did. So I think he's trying to turn Washington MAGA and put people in place and powers so that when he ends his term, they can continue the MAGA movement for the next 20 years because he set it up that way. And I think everything he's doing, like a year for flag burning, I think he's doing that temporarily. I think he's doing that to send out a message to all of the people that are rioting in the streets and doing all the vandalism and bad things and all of the shooters. And I think he's trying to send a message. You're not getting away with this anymore. We're righting the ship. This ship has gone off course, whether you like to admit it or not. This country's gone crazy, and the inmates are running the asylum. So that's why I'm affording Trump personally a little latitude in his dictatorship, because I think his intention is to right the ship and then back away. The problem with power is once you get power, you tend to not want to give it up. That's typically how power works across the board. And Trump would be incredibly special if he got the power and then gave it up when he was done. That would be unique. I don't see that happening. But I think that's the idea. I think that's what he's trying to do. So we'll see. I'm reserving a little judgment on that one because while I don't agree with his current actions, I see why he's doing it. And if you think about it for a minute, you see it too. Amy said, your chat's about to jump. Hang on. As soon as I looked at it, it jumped. Amy said, I said I didn't like it, but it's established case law. It's symbolic speech. Right. Amy says, 1989 Johnson case. Big John says, with our free speech in Britain, we have none, but the British people are winning. Keir Starmer is on his way out. 70% of British people want him gone. Yeah, he's really made a mess over there. Amy says it's a slippery slope if you start taking away free speech. What else will they take away? Well, that slippery slope, we've been on it since the 60s. And it's been steadily going down the whole time. So I think it's a little late for that argument because you got the Patriot Act and the stuff that Obama put into place and the stuff that Biden put into place. We've been losing rights left and right for a long time now. And that's part of the reason we're in the situation we are in the country, why the American dream isn't functioning as it did in the 60s, because we've lost the right to do those things or the desire to do it either way. So, and definitely lost the money to do it. I think starting about the time that Nixon took us off the gold standard, that was the beginning of that slippery slope. And I would imagine they're going to take away everything they can take away to get people to be sheep that they can control like cattle and make money on. You'll eat the bugs and like it. You'll own nothing and like it, that sort of thing. That's the plan anyway. Trump is trying to go against that plan. So take a moment while you're seeing what Trump is doing. Take a moment and consider what the globalist agenda was. Listen to some Alex Jones or something and understand that they almost took over the world. These people almost succeeded. I don't know if you know how close it was. It scares me to think about how close it was. If Hillary Clinton was elected president, they'd have won. And everything would be different. It wouldn't surprise me if your name wasn't a number, you know. If you look at the globalist agenda, the stuff they're talking about at the World Economic Forum, the WEF, listen to Klaus Schwab. He's retired now, but when he was in office, listen to what that guy was saying. That was the future. If you go back 2 decades and listen to him back then, and then look about 5 years after they said it, it happened in our country. And it kept going like that. And we that close to living in 1984 for real. So that's why I'm giving a little bit of latitude to Trump, because he kind of has to be a dictator for a minute or two if he wants to right the ship. If you think about the way the world was in the 60s, think about the way this country ran in those days, compare it to now, the juxtaposition of those two things, it's not even the same planet. That's my thoughts on it anyway, as scattered as they may be. Amanda just renewed her membership for 17 months now. She says, it's been a great ride for sure. I love being here with all of you, and thank you so much. Love you. I love you too, and thank you. You're not wrong, though, Amy. There is a slippery slope at play. But I think free speech has been out the window for a while. I mean, think about YouTube censoring talking about things. That's an attack on free speech right there. Think about the copyright claims that I get every time I mention a song, even though it is clearly fair use. Free speech is out the window. In Britain, you can go to jail for saying things on Facebook that they don't like. And they've even threatened to come over here and arrest people in America. They're not going to do it, but they threatened it. They're not going to do it because they can't do it, but they threatened it. Right. Amy says, in that decision, the court reasoned that words likely to provoke an average person to fight or commit breach of the peace were not protected by the First Amendment. The court, Texas v. Johnson. Right. That is correct. Like I said, it was not a popular vote. They won by one vote. One guy. I don't know if it was one vote, but one guy changed that. Big John says the British politicians are thinking about getting rid of the Court of Human Rights. I don't know what that is, John. What is that and what is it? What kind of power does it have on the citizens over there? Amy says the court's Texas v. Johnson decision rendered flag burning laws in 48 states unconstitutional. Well, I don't know if what Trump is doing is just for D.C. or if it applies to the whole country. I don't know. I just heard about it today. Amy says, I love the flag, and it makes me sad to see someone do it. Don't get me wrong. Right. Like I said, I think it should be illegal to burn the flag, but I don't think you should spend a year in jail for doing it. I think maybe a fine would be fine. Just the appearance of, we're not going to let you get away with that, you know. Kevin Bernard says, we'll need 20 years to fix all the damage they've done. Yeah, maybe longer. And in that time, as a part of fixing all of the damage that was done, it's going to look like a dictatorship occasionally. I mean, there's just no other way to do it. Like, it is our right to assemble and protest. That is a right given by our Constitution. It is not the government's job to shut down riots. However, riots stem from protests. And usually, if you go look, most of them are caused by agent provocateurs. Most protests start out peaceful, and then all of a sudden there's a riot. There's a bunch of black boots on the ground and people breaking things and fires, and then you got the summer of love all over again. I don't agree with how do I need to put this? I agree that the government should not be allowed to stop people from protesting. That's how you challenge power. You protest, or you sign a petition, or whatever it is you do. That's civil disobedience, and that's fine. When it turns into a riot, that's a different story. Now you got people's properties getting destroyed, and that they can't afford to replace the stuff that's being destroyed. And when it's all said and done, the police just sit there with their fingers crossed and don't do anything. And the people just riot, and they're allowed to do whatever they want during that time. It's like the purge, and nobody does anything about it. That has to stop. There's only one way to make that stop, and that's to force them to stop it. And that looks like a dictatorship, but it needs to be done. So I understand that side of the argument, too. Linda Davis says, my coffee is empty. Amanda, I'm on borrowed time. Amanda, go fix her some coffee.
Poof, she's some coffee.
Amanda says, agreed, Kevin. Big John says, there are millions of flags flying all over Britain now, and even painting it on roundabouts. That's because you guys have an uprising of patriotism going on there. Finally, the people have had enough. They've seen where this is going. They've seen the end result, and they're done. That's why they're rising up. And if they keep rising up and don't get squashed, they'll be successful. They'll overturn this idea that's taken hold of your nation. And I hope that happens here, too. I'm on both sides of that fence. I understand the legal ramifications of it, but I kind of think some things need to be shaken up. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. I'm not going to be part of any of it. I'm going to sit here like a coward and talk about it to a camera. I'm not going to be out there doing any of it. But there are people out there that should. Amanda says, oh, Linda. And Amy says, both sides are corrupt. I agree. But that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be an attempt to make it right. I do not think Donald Trump is corrupt, not in the way that we're talking about. I think he might be corrupt a little bit as a businessman, but I don't think he's corrupt in his desire to make America better. I think if you go back to the 80s, he was saying the same thing he's saying now, as far back as you can find him talking to Oprah Winfrey. And in those days, she was kidding about running as his vice president. So just show you how the tables have shifted. So there's corruption on that side, too. I don't think Donald Trump is corrupted. And I don't think that because for 8 years, he's been the most vetted man in human history. They have gone at him in every direction possible and looked into every single thing he's ever done. If that man had a parking ticket, they would have used it against him. I don't believe that he's corrupted. I don't believe he's involved with the Epstein stuff, whatever that may be. I don't believe that. I believe he's a businessman. I believe he's a New York real estate guy. And I believe he's probably connected with the mob and all that stuff as far as real estate goes. But I think his ideas for the country are genuine and from the heart. And I think God put him there to do that very thing. After what I've seen, after missing a bullet by that much, yeah, I think God's protecting him. And it remains to be seen whether or not he'll be successful or whether or not he goes about it the right way. But I would, at this moment, I'm prepared to say he knows more than I do about what's going on and how to handle it. And I'm going to allow him a little bit of time to do that before I start bad-mouthing him. Because I don't think he's done anything worthy of bad-mouthing yet. I don't think he's done anything that every other president hasn't done in one way or another. Now he's starting to. These things he's done in the past couple of weeks is a little different. Everything before that, though, is just what every other president does for their side. But now he's starting to do things that look a little different. So let's see how that works. If it works, I'm all for it. Hang on my chat jump. Walter Davis says Vance doesn't want the press going after him yet, keeping the target off his back as long as possible. I see what you're saying. Doesn't want to be fending off accusations for 2 years before running. I agree. I think that's probably it in a nutshell. Fab Daddy, what's up, buddy? Says, happy hump day, everybody. What's up, Fab? Lady B says, I just hope Obama doesn't run. He can't. He's already been president for 2 terms. He can't run again. He could run for another office, though. He could run for vice president or something like that, Speaker of the House, whatever. But he can't run for president again. Amanda says, hi, Fab. Linda says, hi, Fab. Are you back, Amanda?
Yes. Obama isn't eligible.
Lady B says, hey, Fab Daddy. Smiley face with herpes, smiley face with hard eyes, and a dead smiley face. What it is, do you know anything about the band Black Oak, Arkansas? I've heard of them. I don't know much about them, no. But I've heard the name. That's one of those indie bands, right? Like Canadian Ragweed and Old Crow Medicine Show, things like that. I have a friend that would know all about Black Oak, Arkansas. His name is Mac. He was here a couple nights ago. He might be here tonight. I don't know. Amy says, Lady B, you mean Big Mike Obama? Oh, Amy said, yeah, maybe. That Obama could run, but I don't think she can. I don't think she's smart enough to. Have you heard her podcast? I don't think she has the bandwidth to be president or to run a successful campaign. That being said, Kamala Harris did it. So, you know, if they put it in their minds that they want to run her, they could do just like they did with Kamala and install her. She doesn't have to run. So, I guess it could go that way. That would be scary. And what it is people are going to revolt. The old West will be making a comeback. Maybe this needs to happen. Something needs to happen. That's what I was talking about earlier, why I'm giving Trump a little bit of latitude with his dictator behavior, because something needs to happen, and it needs to be pretty strong, whatever it is. I don't know the answer. I have a hair in my glasses. I don't know the answer. Maybe we need to go back to the Wild West, start toting guns again. I don't know. Something needs to happen, though, because people can't keep running over people like they've been doing. Debbie's here. She says, howdy, y'all. I was beginning to worry about you, honey. I thought you done left me.
Hi, Debbie.
Amanda the Banhammer just renewed for another whole month.
You know that means it's been 17 months since you've been monetized?
Yep. Linda says, hi, Debbie. Debbie says the Democrats will not stop until we are all gray jumpsuits wearing automatons. Yeah, with numbers instead of names. I'm with you there. If you take a gander at that globalist order, the New World Order that they've been trying to push for the past 20 years, 30 years, just go look at that. Look at what's proposed and know that that's real. That's not a conspiracy theory. They've been trying to implement that since Nixon. And it's kind of scary. That's why I think Trump needs to happen. Something like Trump needs to happen. I just hope he's successful at it. Because it could go the other way, too, you know. There's no accounting for what the American people will do. And there's a lot of different opinions about what's happening. My opinion is, I think it's swung too far, the pendulum has swung too far to the left, and it needs to come back to the center. And whatever means necessary needs to make that happen, and happen quick, or we're going to lose this country. And if you don't think we can, you're wrong. This country's only been here for 200 years, give or take, 150, whatever it is. I assure you, there are civilizations that have been here for thousands of years and are still going strong. And we've already come to the end where our society is acting like all other empires act right before they fall. We're already at that spot, and we're only a couple hundred years old. Rome was around for 2,000 years before they fell. And we're already there.
America's 250 years old.
There you go. 250. That's babies. We're babies. And we're already at the end. It would be very easy to push us over the edge and make us lose to Russia or China or whoever decided to take advantage of us falling. And we don't need that. Kevin says, hello, Debbie. Big John says, congratulations, Amanda. Wavy hand, wavy hand. Turkey, turkey.
Thanks, Nugget.
Lady B says, hey, sweetheart, Debbie. Smiley face with herpes. What it is says they ain't gonna do jack squat. Who ain't? Who ain't gonna do jack squat? Who is they? Lady B says, Amanda, member for 17 months. So awesome. 2 dead smiley faces. Kevin says, what do you get when you lock 50 lesbians in a room with 50 politicians? 50 lesbians. Or 100 people that don't do dick. I was thinking they eat the politicians, but yeah, that works too. Lady B says, yeah, Amy. And what it is a tater-X. I don't know what you mean, what it is. Debbie says, if women with big boobs work at Hooters, where do women with one leg work at? Leggers? Legless?
LOL, Kevin.
I don't know where.
IHOP.
IHOP. Yeah. International House of Prosthetics. Lady B says, Kevin, smiley faces all over the place and one with a tongue hanging out. Amy says, IHOP. And Debbie says, ha ha, Amy. Big John says, we can't send illegal migrants back. And lots of other rules. We are out of the European Union, but they are still controlling us by laws. We are a sovereign state now. Right on. Well, I hope you get that sorted out. I know that's a big bummer to have a bunch of people in your country that you can't get rid of. But I hope you can sort that out and get back to being the Britain that we all know and love. Lady B says, got to get my notes. I figure out who Nugget is. Be right back. Get my paper notes. That's John. He changed his name. John H. is Big John Nugget. Lady B says, notes. Wesley is Patty, Vera is Rachel, and John H. is Nugget. Got it. And Linda says, you got it, Lady B. Lady B says, I never see John. Sorry, John. Well, there he is. Big John Nugget now. So scratch out John H. and write Big John Nugget. Amanda says, correct, lady. Lady says, thank you, Linda. And Amanda says,
Lady, John is Big John Nugget now.
Lady B says, do y'all see a total of 11? 10 now, but yep. Do y'all see more than that? Right now, there's 10 people in chat. There have been 35 people total. And Amanda says, I have 10, lady. And lady says, Amanda, he has me blocked. I never see him. He does not have you blocked. You might not be on live chat, though. If you have a phone, I don't know how to tell you to do that.
If it's on a phone, it's all messages. If it's on a computer, it's live chat.
Right. Make sure it says all messages. Not top messages. John says, I have to have a slot of respect for the way your politics are run, right? Some modicum of it. There are some good qualities to our politicians, but there's a lot of bad on both sides. And this isn't a partisan thing I'm saying here. We have good politicians, some salt of the earth dudes that are really trying to make a difference. And then we have some that are just playing the game and trying to get rich and trying to work the system and trying to get, you know, things in a certain way or pushing an ideology. There's a lot of that going on. So on both sides. Amanda?
Lady, are you on all chat or live chat?
Fab Daddy says, I can only count to 10 unless I use my toes. That's bad, man. Can't you imagine 10 more? Lady B says, yeah, all messages. Then you should see him. I don't know why you wouldn't be. He does not have you blocked, though, I promise.
Oh, well, I don't know why you see him. Don't see him then.
Lady B says, I have only 2 times. Well, he hasn't been very talkative. Lady B says, it's good, Amanda. And chlamydia was and is a DA. She was useless under Biden. Oh, I know. You're talking about Kamala Harris? Yeah. She's useless under her own self. That woman can't string a whole sentence together. I don't know. I do know how she got where she's at, but it wasn't because she was smart. I promise you that.
She stayed on her knees.
Guarantee it.
She flat backed her way there.
If you don't believe that, go back and look at footage of her when she was Montel Williams' girlfriend. You'll see. He treated her as such. Montel Williams was a guy, if you don't know, he was a talk show host back in the 90s, 80s and 90s. Started out in the 80s and went into the 90s, about the Jerry Springer time of things. Montel Williams. And back then, she was dating him. And then she moved from him to Judge Willie Brown. I think that's his name. A judge in California. And then he pulled the strings that got her into her position as a lawyer. And she worked her way from there into being a DA. Probably dated one of those guys, too. And then all of a sudden, boom, she's in the White House. Talk about playing your cards right. Aaron says, I'm back. I was wondering where you went.
Welcome back, Aaron.
Lady B says, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to temporarily step out of reality on this chat. Believe it or not, but y'all help me a lot. It's like you help me heal a little bit at a time. Lady B, that is precisely the mission statement of this show. That's why we're here. And thank you, Lord, for bringing you into our orbit. God puts people where they're supposed to be. I believe that. And you're either here because you need us or we need you. Either way, it's a good, beneficial relationship, and I hope you stay for the long haul. We love having you here. And God bless you, and I hope you do heal completely. Aaron says, 5. I will counter with 3.5. Kevin says, hello, Aaron.
That's awesome, lady. We love having you with us.
Yes, we do. Aaron says, hey, Kevin. Lady B says, I am so grateful for y'all. All of y'all. Thank you. We're grateful for you too, Lady B. Amy says, what do you call a Jamaican male prostitute? I think we've been here before because I have the same answer. Jaman. A Pokemon. A Pokemon. Nice. Big John says, I can't see Lady B and some others. Weird. That is weird. I wonder why. I assure you it's nothing that I'm doing. You can't see Lady B now? Are you on all chat? Or all messages? Or live messages? It might be that.
They might need to refresh.
Might need to refresh. I don't know how you guys are getting to the chat, so I don't know how that works. I have a pop-out that is in my OBS program in front of me that has the chat playing where I'm at in the chat. And then I've got one above me on the website, which is where you're at in the chat. So I'm seeing both sides of the chat, but I don't have any problem seeing anybody as long as it's on live chat. Amanda says, LOL, Amy. Amanda?
LOL, Amy.
Amy says, a blind man walks into a bar and a table and a chair. 2 Jews walk into a bar and the other one ducked. Yucca, 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 yucca. Linda says, my dog is under my bed snoring.
LOL, Amy. LOL, Linda.
That's actually funny.
That is funny.
I would get a cane and reach it up under there and poke him right in the butt with it.
I'd just start making a bunch of loud random noises and wake them up.
Oh, oh, oh. Amy says, lucky dog. I know, right? I'm about to be snoring too here very soon. Linda says, she is so loud. Amanda says, smiley, 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 smiley. And Debbie says, I'm here just to stalk Kevin. Really? Man, I thought you were here for me. I see how it is. All right. Kevin says, for Debbie, smiley face with herpes. Amy says, maybe Lady B accidentally blocked him when she blocked that one guy during Bible study. I don't know that you can block somebody unless you're a wrench.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Yeah, they can block. They can hide that individual from them seeing them.
Well, in that case, you'd have to go into your settings and go to your blocked section and see if anybody's in there that ain't supposed to be.
If she could see his name, she could just click on his name and see if he's blocked, but she can't see his name.
Debbie says, and I'm here just for the off chance of seeing Jake's ninnies.
Ninnies.
I mean, if it'll make you feel good.
Ninny.
There you go. I stretched my AC/DC shirt out just for your pleasure. Should have went the other way.
Yeah, why don't you just pull it up and flash both of them?
I don't know.
That's such a girl move.
Amanda says ninnies and Amy says ninny.
Ninnies.
I would show you my chest, but you couldn't handle it. The muscles are just too much. Debbie says, whew, I'm good now.
Little wet spot there, Debbie. Getting a little hot on your end.
If I had the follicles, I'd blush. Linda says, I love you, Amanda.
I love you too, Linda.
Rich says, now she's smoking too. Right on. And Debbie says, squish, squish, I was taking a bath. Long about a Wednesday night. Rub-a-dub-dub. And I saw Jake's little nub on the podcast tonight. Hello.
Debbie's on fire.
Fire.
She's smoking.
We do not know where eels come from. Everything's bullshit. Go check it out. That's part of my weekly Everything is Bullshit meme fest over here on the Untethered Live Chilling Facebook page. It's going to happen every week. Go check it out. Follow along. See if you can add some of your own ideas. If you know of something that is not squaring up with reality, post it. See what happens. If we get enough of them, we might do some kind of giveaway or something. It's about time for that sort of thing to start happening. We've reached that size as a platform. Of course, I'm on 11 other platforms too, which are doing quite well of their own rights. But this one is the one I'm most concerned about. And Kevin says, if it's not BS, it's propaganda. Amen, brother. And the propaganda leads to BS. That's the whole reason for doing propaganda. To lead to BS. Because they don't want you knowing the truth. They don't want you being aware and alert. They want you fuzzy and in the bread and circuses of it all. And Rich says, BS, Bible study? No, bullshit. Bible study's on Sunday and Monday. I have a Everything is Bullshit book that I'm writing. And I'm doing research and development in the form of memes. One meme a week or one thing a week over on the Untethered Live Chilling page. If that makes any sense. And Linda says, bottom of the chat. I guess it's that time. Good night, all. Love to all and safe travels, Nugget. That's right. It is the bottom of the chat, and I am tired. I can't even hold my eyes open anymore. I'm a little bit delirious, but that's all right. I'm about to render that moot. I'm going to go inspect the back of my eyelids for trauma. I hope all of you have a great night. Amy says, I'm working football overtime the next 2 Saturdays. Wow. Kevin says, good night, everybody. All right. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, support, join, super chat, or paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand or Cash App $JakeJohnsonBand. It really does help the channel out, and we're going places. So thank you all for that support. It really does matter to people that are involved. And me too. All right. Rich says, got it. It's wicked. HADHD.
Wicked hard.
Wicked hot. It's wicked hard. I got it. It's wicked hard trust nowadays, right? Yeah, it's wicked hard. It really is. And at some point, the world is going to cave in on itself if it doesn't find the light. And that's what we're trying to do here, is show a little path to the light. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but I'm doing the best I can. Big John says, God bless you all. Please stay safe. I love you all. You stay safe too, buddy. Let us know how you're doing out there on the road.
Yes, keep us posted.
Amy says, damn it, now I'm sitting down, able to participate, and you're done. I'll stay longer for you. All right, I'll give y'all some more time. Patty just came, so I'm staying.
Hi, Patty.
Rich says, I appreciate y'all. Love and hugs. And Amy says, have a good night, y'all. Well, I'll stick around a little longer. Patty says, thank you, Miss Amanda and Jake. Good night, all. Hey, Patty. How are you, sweet lady? Big John says, I'll be thinking about you. You're in my heart, all of you. You're in ours, too, and I'll be praying for you on your journey. I hope you have a blast. Take pictures. Amy says, no, you're fired. Good night.
You're tired.
I like mine better.
Yeah, you can't even read tonight.
I know. I'm blind. Debbie says, Jake missed my soap comment. Sniff, sniff. Now I'm sad. Did I? Hold on. I don't see a soap comment.
All I see is squish, squish.
Squish, squish. And then the next one is...
You missed the soap comment.
Do you find it?
No, the only thing I see is squish, squish.
That's the only thing I see, too. I'm scrolling. Jake just missed my soap comment. Could you put it in again? Because I sure didn't see it.
It didn't post.
It must not have posted.
I don't see it either.
Lady B says, good night, sweet dreams. But don't leave yet. I'm going to give y'all some more time. Because I love you. I sure don't want nobody feeling like they got left out because they were working. I'll do more time. Aaron, why you so quiet tonight, buddy? Come on, my man. Hit me back with some stank. Amy says tomato pie. Debbie, can you put that comment back? I didn't see it. I scrolled back up and I looked. I didn't see it. That must have been yours. It wasn't mine.
It was. It must not be letting her post it.
Must not be. Well, what is it? Say it out loud.
Hold on.
Amy says, rest your voice, Jake. I will.
She said, "Oh, I wish I was a little bar of soap. I would be all slippery and slimy, sliding all over your body." Damn it, girl.
For your pleasure.
And that's why we didn't see it, because it's way back.
I'm sorry I missed it. Sometimes these things happen when you can't see and chat's moving by pretty quick. But I love you and thank you for that. That was nice. And Big John says, ooh la la, wee wee. Amy says, zestfully clean. Amen. Bright light.
Ooh, I saw double ninnies.
Caress. I like Caress. It's actually a good soap. I like Dove better, though.
Irish Spring.
I'm a man, though. I like Irish Spring. I like the green soap. I don't care what it is. That smell. I like that smell. The Irish smell. I don't even know what you call that. Honeysuckle, maybe? I don't know what smell that is, but I like it.
Mountain Air.
Debbie says, oh my goodness, I'm done now. Yeah, girl. I like having a good time with you guys. I like knowing that y'all are having a good time. Linda says, I was yawning, I missed it.
She missed the double ninnies.
Well, you can scroll back. I ain't doing it again. I'll probably get kicked off for that. I don't know why, but I'll just point them to Russell Brand, who does his shirt open for his podcast. So. Dawn dish soap. No, it ain't that. I don't like Dawn.
I love Dawn.
I missed it. I missed it, John.
John said I use. He uses something.
Jake's weapons of mass distraction. Now, I would get in trouble if I showed that.
Mm.
And plus, I'd need to go to vertical screen. That's a length joke. You'll get it later.
Tiny mule. Tiny mule.
Like a baby holding a football. Looks like a baby arm holding an apple. Big John says, I use baby oil. I can't get into that. I've tried it a few times. I don't like the smell of it, and I don't like the feel of it. I don't want to be slick. I know a lot of people that do use baby oil, though, but I just can't get into it.
Right, Debbie? I agree. Yes.
Oh, for that, I use spit, yeah. What are we talking about? Wait, what? Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, can't use baby oil. You lose your gription.
I'm going to slip off and hurt myself.
Poke yourself in the eye.
That's like when I wake up in the morning. You know how men wake up. And I go in to use the bathroom, and I'm faced with a dilemma. I got to pee, but it's pointing towards the ceiling. So I just push it down. And every now and then I push too hard and my feet slip out from under me. Amy says, show your tatas again. You're going to make Debbie palm olive. Linda says, not fair. Jake and Amanda are the only ones getting it tonight.
Not if he falls asleep on me first. I have to take it because he'll be asleep.
I might go to sleep right now. Amanda says,
What did I say? Oh, rolling on floor, laughing, Amy, and LOL are all Linda.
Oh. Well, I'll be thinking about you if I get it. Big John says cocoa butter. Cocoa butter. Blech. Smell like a candle. Linda says, Amy, smiley, smiley. Smiley.
Yep, Jake falls asleep and I take it.
That's enough information.
You can be self-fulfilling.
Self-fulfilling prophecy, huh? Sometimes you gotta be. I spent 15 years alone, so I'm with you. I understand. 15 years by myself. Not so much as a house call. Some of that was on this podcast. That's why I got fat. It's amazing what'll happen when you start getting it. Linda says, yep. LOL, Amy. Got a proverbial take your matters into your own hands. All right. That's about all I can stand. Linda says, you need a B.O.B. or a E.O.B. Amanda says, Linda, you need a B.O.B. or an E.O.B. What is that?
A B.O.B. is a battery-operated boyfriend, and an E.O.B. is an electric-operated boyfriend.
Shit, she needs a gas-powered one with a hand crank.
Fire up like a chainsaw.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. You guys have a great night, and I love you so much. I do. I hope you love me, too. I'm trying. Have a great night. God bless. I'll see you guys on Friday night. Be there or be
Square.
Rectangular. Debbie says, the first year after my hubby died. I understand. I do. That's not a good place to be. Hey, you'll never believe what my son got me, says Debbie. I don't know if I want to know.
No, I want to know.
Amy says Harley V twin, right? Put some gears on that thing. And Debbie says for Christmas. Amanda says, now I want to know. I'm an inquiring mind. I want to know.
Right. The suspense is killing me.
Was it a 4-speed? A big black 14-inch dildo. I love his humor.
Wow.
Wow. That thing is huge.
Scary.
Remind you of anyone?
An emotional support vehicle. Yeah, you can paint it green, Debbie.
Cause Dad's gone, says Debbie. LOL. Damn it, man. That's a good boy. A little weird, but a good boy. Big John says, good night. Love you all. Blow up doll. They make robots now, Big John, that look real.
That's great, Debbie.
Wow.
That's great.
The look on his face, I would have paid dollar bills to see.
Right?
Debbie says, serves him right. Now every Christmas we wonder, who's going to get it? Well, that's something to cherish in and of itself. Because now you got a game that everybody can play every year. And the suspense, it's just good camaraderie. And Big John says, I'm old school, right? You want the one with the seam all the way around? Yeah. With the face like this? I know what you're talking about. Look up the song Polyurethane by the Unknown Henson. Polyurethane. My gift to you. I would play it for you, but I don't know if you can hear it or out. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. You guys will appreciate this. I gotta change my sound over. Un momento, por favor. Let me know if you can hear this.
Yes.
All right, guys, this is for you. Let me turn the volume up a little.
I like the way that you don't talk. I like the way that you don't walk. I like the way you do nothing at all. I like the way you don't fuss and squeal. I like the way your skin don't feel. I like the way you just lay there so still. I'm glad I chose to date you. It didn't take long to inflate you. I wish I'd known you long ago. Polyurethane, that's a pretty name. I know you won't play games with my heart. You're adorable and you're portable. Polyurethane, you're everything to me. I like the way your eyes don't blink. I like the way that you don't think. I like the way you look when you're wearing hot pink. I like the way you don't stare at me. I like the way you don't disagree. I like the way you leave all decisions to me. You're soft and yet resilient, and your colors are so brilliant. It says here you're also waterproof. Polyurethane, that's a pretty name. I know you won't play games with my heart. You're adorable and you're portable. Polyurethane, you're everything to me. Polyurethane, you're everything to me. Polyurethane.
ladies and gentlemen, the unknown Henson, for your listening pleasure. I hope you enjoyed that. That was just for you inflatable lovers.
There's another link in the chat for a song called Inflatable that Amy wanted y'all to hear.
I'll have to listen to it later. I can't play that one because that guy's on a record label. All right. That's it for tonight. I love you guys. Have a great night. Mind your inflatable love life. Make sure you wax and wash out the holes. Have a great night, and I'll see you Friday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the support, and I love you. Thanks for watching.
Good night, y'all.